Hi guys. I wanted to go ahead and record the second video for the Moses mentality tonight. I will be posting this tomorrow for you all. Today is Monday, so I'll be posting this Tuesday again. Right on track for, this week. And today I wanted to talk about how God's compromise does not change his will, and about how Aaron even got involved in this calling that Moses had. So, last time we talked about how the first time Moses asked God, who am I? God completely ignores him. Doesn't even address the question. He just starts going into what he wants him to do. And so, kind of the progression of how Moses and God begin interacting after that initial question of, okay, God, who am I? I'm going to read a little bit off of my notes here just so I'm not flipping back and forth so much. But the progression goes, okay, God, who am I? Okay, but God, if I come, what will I say? And God responds to him, okay, well, this is what you're going to tell them. And he says, if I say that, they won't believe me or listen to me. And then he says, okay, well, then take your staff and put your hand in your coat and pour the Nile River onto dry ground and it will become as blood. And he says, but even if they believe those signs, I can't speak and I don't have eloquent words. And so finally, God says, to Moses, who has made your mouth or your ears? Now go, therefore, and I will be with you and teach you what to say. And this is all still in... Let me double check myself really quick before I tell you guys. I'm sorry. It should be Exodus... the tail end of 3 and the beginning of Exodus 4. Yeah, the beginning of Exodus 4 is what we're mainly going to be talking about today. And I find it really reassuring, actually, that even though the Lord's anger was kindled against Moses, Moses' stupidity did not, God's anger did not exempt Moses' stupidity, is what I was trying to get at a second ago. And what I mean by that is, even if we do make God angry sometimes and frustrated with all of our excuses, he's not going to change his mind that easily about us. And I'm really thankful for that because, I know when I was even beginning to write the blog a couple of years ago, I gave every excuse in the book for why I couldn't. I'm like, okay, God, none of my thoughts are original. This is all old news. Anyone else can do it so much better, a lot like Moses, actually. I'm like, I can't talk, and now here I am doing videos, so go figure. But so, anyway, sorry for the sidetrack there. So, it says, then the Lord's anger was kindled, and he said, see, Aaron your brother comes, whom I know can speak well. I will send him with you to speak to the people, and you will speak to him. And see, something I never realized before, and it didn't really hit me until a couple of days ago when I was studying for this, is Aaron would not have been walking by Moses in the burning bush if Moses had not hemmed and hawed and fought with God so long and so hard about going back to Egypt. And so, if Moses hadn't, hesitated so much, Aaron never would have been brought in the picture, I don't think. And not only that, but God says that, oh, look, your brother Aaron comes, whom I know can speak well. And that tells me that God knew what was in Aaron's heart versus Moses' heart. And it wasn't just about his ability to speak to Pharaoh. Because, Moses, he was a very steadfast man. He didn't put up with a lot of garbage from the Israelites once they actually got into the desert. And he continually stood before God and interceded on the Israelites' behalf because, even though he was frustrated and he was angry throughout those 40 years, Aaron, when he was left alone with the Israelites, he's the one in Exodus 32 that made the golden calf for, his people. That was Aaron. That wasn't Moses. And I think God knew what was in Aaron's heart, and I think that that's partially why, his anger was kindled against Moses, because he's looking at Moses's heart and going, okay, yes, I know you're frustrated, and I know you can't speak very well, but I know what's inside you, and I know that when push comes to shove, you're going to do the right thing, and you're going to stand up for, my people. And, Aaron, pretty much as soon as they get done with Egypt, you see him in the Bible going back to his own role as the line of priest that he was. And so, just because God is willing to compromise for you and on your behalf to get you to even start on the right path that he wants you to go on, it doesn't change anything, And I guess it took me a little while to come to terms with, too, because it's like, when I first got into church and I started praying on a regular basis, I kind of had the mentality of the woman who went to the judge in the New Testament day after day after day after day after day to get him to change his mind, but that's not the way it works, especially with ministry, that I'm realizing, and the more I delve into the story of Moses. Anyway, we're already at the 6-minute 45-second mark, so I'm going to go ahead and end that here. But just to take away this from this video, just to recap, just because God is compromising on ministry, on your ministry, it does not mean he's changing his mind about what he's called you to do. Next week, I'm going to be talking about, and I might end up posting on Saturday again. It just depends on how finals go, or midterms go. But the next video, I'm going to talk about a willingness to suffer. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, whenever you listen to this. And I will see you soon. And praise God, I got this all in one take.